الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. وبعد، أحبتي في الله، نعيش مع كتاب الله مع سورة قال عنها الإمام الشافعي: لو لم ينزل من القرآن غيرها لكفتنا، مع سورة العصر التي أفرد لها بعض علماء التفسير وبعض المؤلفين مؤلفا خاصا. سورة قصيرة إلا أنها عظيمة في المعنى كباقي سور القرآن، فالله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينفعنا وأن يرفعنا بذكره الحكيم. جاءت هذه السورة بعد سورة التكاثر التي تكلمت عن غفلة الناس وضياعهم للوقت. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر، فجاء في هذه السورة قسم بذلك الأمر المهم، ألا وهو الوقت الذي لا يعتبر له الناس ولا يهتمون به. في السورة التي قبلها ذكر سبحانه وتعالى: ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. ومن النعيم ومن النعم التي يغفل عنها كثير من الناس، كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: نعمتان مغبون عنهما كثير من الناس، الصحة والفراغ. فالوقت من النعم المهدرة، ولذلك جاء التأكيد عليه هنا في سورة العصر بالقسم والعصر. ثم إن إضاعة ذلك الوقت وإن التغافل عن الآخرة بالدنيا والتكاثر في الأموال هنا وهناك هو في الحقيقة مؤد إلى الخسران، ولذلك جاء في سورة العصر بيان الخسران وبيان النجاح الحقيقي. فهي سورة تبين معنى النجاح بالمفهوم الإسلامي. نحن قد نفسر النجاح بأمور كثيرة، ربما بجمع المال والاكتناز، وربما بالشهادات العالية وما إليها، لكن الفلاح والخسران في عين الشريعة غير ذلك. لذلك قال سبحانه: والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. هل تعلمون أن أكثر ما يخيف في هذه السورة أن المولى سبحانه وتعالى ذكر أن الكل في خسر، ولم يقل أيضا في خسران، فالخسر أعظم. قال الكل في خسر ثم استثنى، والأصل أن الاستثناء خارج القاعدة فهو القليل، فهذا المستثنى من الخسران قليل. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعلنا من ذلك القليل. قال: إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. إن شاء الله نتم بعض الخواطر بعد أن نترجم لإخواننا. So here, my dear brothers and sisters, today we are going to talk about one of the shortest surah in Quran, and it's actually a great in meaning as others. It's only 3 verses. But Imam Shafi'i said, if nothing was revealed in the Quran except the surah, it will be suffice. It will be enough for us. Can you imagine? If nothing revealed except this one, will be suffice. And many of the scholars have written volumes just about this surah to know that it's important. This surah came after Surah At-Takathur. And Surah At-Takathur talking about people collecting from here and there until visited the graveyard, until went to the graveyard for the last visit, being carried by somebody until they died. So they were in the ghafla, in the heedlessness state. And when they were in ghafla, so they are not utilizing their time in a good way. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the beginning of this surah swear by the time, and he said, wal asri. In the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you are going to be questioned about Allah's blessing. And among Allah's blessing, which most of the people are ignorant about, as Rasulullah said, as-sihhatu wal-faragh, the free time and your health. So wasting your free time and wasting your life, this is one of the worst crime. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasized about that again in this surah at the beginning, and I swear by that. And now as a consequences of wasting time and wasting energy and collecting from here and there and being that state, that as we think we are going to have the success, and actually we are leading ourselves for failure, and we are going to be among the losers one if we are not utilizing those blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah spoke about who are those. Those are losers. So this surah talking about the real success. This surah addressing the real success. In our perspective, we determine success that maybe you have a higher degree in education, you have a good job, you have a nice house, you have a good amount in your bank account. So most of the time that, our success being translated with this way, name and fame and, name it, whatever. That's, we think that's a success. Nowadays, if you are asking the youth to tell me, who's the most successful one, maybe what they would tell you, either Musk or yes, or they would tell you Bill Gates or whatever, those ones. They will name the wealthy people, so they measure the success because of the money, This is the biggest problem. We need to stay away from that way of thinking. We have to adjust our mind to the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to think. So that's why in the beginning of surah, Allah swear, I said, wal asr. And asr, it's time, in generally speaking. It's by the time. So Allah swear by the time. And if you wanted to take it specific, that's a time that after the asr prayer and before maghrib, so the last portion of the day. The day is going fast. If you're not catching it, that will be a problem. And an asr, that means you're squeezing something. And the time is squeezing you. It's time, like when they said Arabic, they said the drink or juice, after squeezing fruit or whatever, so squeezing. And that's why if you are not trying to cut your time, it will be a big problem. And by the way, your time is your life. Because we are number of days. We are number of days. If part of our time passed, then part of our life passed. We have to care about that. So Allah swear by the time that all mankind are in loss. And then Allah made exceptions. And actually, this is the scary part. Somebody said, oh, what's scary about? Now we know there is a rule. And the rule here that all mankind are in lust. And there is an exception. And the exception that Allah mentioned that people with those four categories, those are being exempt from that. Now, knowing that just that and as an exception, that means they are less compared with the main rule. So always when you say exception, that less in number. So this is the rule. Exception, that means are few. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those few. You never know. Sometimes we get fooled by the majority. But the majority are in lust. Those are few. Those Allah will write the success for them. May Allah write us among them. Say Ameen. We need the success, the real success. That's what we're looking for. We don't want the term of success as people define in this life. So وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. في هذه الصورة ذكرت 4 صفات. لكن في الحقيقة هم مجموعتان من الصفات. صفات متعلقة بالشخص في ذاته، وصفات متعلقة بالشخص في مجتمعه. فإن الإنسان لن ينجو من الخسران إلا إذا كان صالحا في نفسه مصلحا لغيره. فلا يكتفى أن يكون الإنسان أنا إنسان صالح، لا والله. قيل ونهلك فينا الصالحون، قال نعم إذا كثر الخبث. نعم، لا يكتفى أن يكون الإنسان صالحا حتى ينجو من العقوبة، فلا بد أن يكون مصلحا أيضا، يكون صالحا إلى الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات، صالح في نفسه. ثم قال وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر، أي أنه يكون مصلحا لغيره في مجتمعه. تقول هذا ما همك وما مصيبتك، ليس شأنك، لا بل شأني، هذا الأمور شأني، لأن هذا من أصل الفلاح. قال إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. It was mentioned 4 categories for those being exempt from being counted as a losers. And if you look at it, actually there are 2 categories. The 2 of those classifications are related to the person himself, and the other they are related to his society. So in order the person to be among the successful one, he has to be righteous in himself, and he lead to righteousness. Has to be salih and muslih. There are differences between that. Salih, that yourself, and muslih, that you be a means of guidance for others. So you have to be guided, and you have to be a means of guidance. It's not enough just to be saying, no, I'm guided, I'm doing my best, I'm working on myself to strengthen my iman. That's fine, but it's not enough. There are other 2 conditions has to be fulfilled. Remember the story of Ahlul Sabt wa Ashabul Sabt. The story of those tribe that Allah told them do not fish on Saturday. And what they did, they made some tricks. So Allah, when mentioned that, He said He protected which one? The group that they tried to prevent others from doing the wrong act. Allah said, أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ. We protected and we saved those they are trying to prevent others from doing the wrong act. Allah never mentioned about that those they are kept silent or those they did the crime. So Allah mentioned when clearly that He protected those they try to prevent others from doing the wrong act. So do not say, this is not my problem. If you're seeing wrong act and a problem, you have to stand up. But if this is, this is a problem, subhanallah. Remember yourself, especially those that came years back. Maybe let's say talk about those that are 10 years. Who are there, can you see hands being 10 years here in this society? 10 years plus. 10 years plus. Okay. Remember that the days when you came, there are many things that you deny, many things you are not happy with it. What people doing? And you think, that, this is corrupted, there is no hayat, this is, something bad. Now, after 10 years, you didn't see that as munkar now. You became normalized, because became, it's okay. The image, the picture, the act, that before you think something wrong, kind of, you adapt it or you accept it. And maybe many of us, they did what they denied before. They fall in problems that they said, this is the munkar. So that's how it happened with a munkar. If you're not trying to push it away, that will come to attack you. So actually when you are trying to push the munkar away, actually you are helping yourself. Not only you're helping your society, because that's the way of defense. It's the way of protection, what's very important. So, again, if at least we get a result from this as a benefit from this surah, that's in order to be among the successful one, not being counted among those are lost, you have to be salih, and you have to be muslih. May Allah make us among them. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا وبلغنا في دار مطلوبنا. اللهم نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. آمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.